Okay, we're back on the beautiful Zenith 5S29 cabinet, and I'm going to start out with the veneer repair. Down here on this lower section, which looks like burl veneer, and you can see here what's happening. I've got what's called a veneer bubble. So we'll start with this right side, and I'll show you the steps I'm going to take to help mitigate this, or hopefully mitigate it. So if that's not really showing up well, let me do this. I'm going to just draw a circle. So maybe that circle showed up. So that's one area that we'll tackle. And then when I turn this over, we'll start from right here again. Good contact here, and again my finger's the best indicator. I'm going to just go across, but I've got another bubble right in this area. And let's see. Maybe that continues to about right there. Alright, then right in this area, you can probably see it. So about from here all the way to here. Alright, let me get the camera back where you guys can see it. So I've got a nice bubble from this line here that I just drew. So you can see I can't get any glue in from this side, but possibly I can wedge some in. This area in the middle, this area right here, I should say, in the middle, I'm going to definitely have to probably drill a small hole or cut a slit in the veneer itself, and use a syringe and get some glue in there before clamping. I just want to make sure I don't miss any spots here. So let's start out here with this big area. Let me ponder this just for a moment. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and tackle this veneer bubble in this area first. And again, it's like I've got good surface contact here around the edge. And it does continue on out into this area, but somewhere about right in here is where the problem lies. In the center of the bubble, again I'm just going by feel, is about right here. So what I'm going to try to do is use this file with this real sharp point on it, and instead of using my drill, I'm going to just put a very, very small hole here through the veneer. So let's get started. Okay, I think I'm through. I'll just go a little further. Okay, I think I'm through there. And then I've got my syringe right here, and I've got a real fine blunt size needle in it, and it should just fit in that area. So let me get some glue, and what I'm going to use for cleanup, and since it's on the veneer itself, I'm actually going to use the Titebond genuine hide glue, and I'll be able to clamp this down, and we'll do that in a minute. So let me load up the syringe here with just a little bit of this glue, and then we'll inject it in here, and then apply some forced air as well, and see if I can get that to expand beyond that center point. If not, I'll place another hole over here on this side as well. Okay, I've got just a little bit of the hide glue. The advantage of the hide glue too, just cleans up with water and stains will go over this glue as well, and clear coats and toner lacquers. So let me try to work some in. You can see I'm going in at an angle trying to force some of the glue back in this direction. And let me just do this from the opposite direction here. Sorry about that, I hit the camera. Alright, let me see what I've got coming out of this needle. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that I did have glue making its way out. Alright, let me go back this direction here one more time. What I'm trying to do is just fill the bubble up till I have some glue here show up on the surface. Okay, you can see when I pressed down, some glue came back up. Alright, let me grab something here. I don't have my small can of forced air, but I'm going to try to use my other forced air and see if I can just force some of this glue to scatter back inside this bubble. So we'll see. Watch your ears. Okay, I think I got that in there. Let me wipe this down real quick. Okay, we'll put a clamp on that in just a moment, but you can see the repair area now. And again, you really won't be able to see that much. I can actually, once that's filled in with some green filler, and I can actually use one of my fill sticks as well. It's probably what I'll use just to blend across that. But you can see when I do press, I get a little bit of glue to the top of the surface. That's a good thing. Alright, this other area, I'm going to do a couple different techniques. I am going to place a couple holes here so I can inject some glue. Probably here and maybe here. And then what I've done is cut a shim out of some real thin plastic. And I'll place some of the glue on it, because this area here, you can see I'm able to get the shim in this area up to about right there, and that gets me up to about right here. So we'll do this one two different ways. So let me go ahead and do the same thing here. I'll just do this off camera. Put a couple holes here, inject some glue using my syringe and needle, and then we'll put some glue as well on that shim and try to slide it back and forth, and then force some air back in here again. Then we'll clamp this down and hope for the best. I ended up putting 3 holes here, and again I'll try to get as much glue as I can underneath the veneer using my syringe and needle. At your finger right here, I can actually feel just a little bit of the glue as it's going in. Okay, you can see some glue starting to come to the surface area when I push down on this. So I think I've got a good amount underneath there. Let me put some glue now on the shim and get it placed underneath there. This one side's just a little wider. Okay, just want to make sure I'm going to use the narrow end since the bubble starts out wide and comes back. Okay, let me put some more on. You can actually see some of the glue coming out right here. And if I press down on that area, you'll see some glue coming out, so it's a good sign. Okay, let me clean up my hands and get this glue off the cabinet here. And I'll be right back. We'll get this thing clamped. Okay, what I'm going to be using again is just a piece of wood here, large enough to cover this area, and a piece of wax paper. I think I've used shipping tape as well in the past, but I'll place the clamp here right in this area, and we'll let it dry for 24 hours. Then I'll provide an update and then see what kind of results we got. Okay, real quick, before I clamp the other side, I went on and made the repairs here as well, using the same process on the other side. So I'm going to clamp both sides, and then I've got to address the front side on the left side of the cabinet here. But I got 3 holes, again filled up with the hide glue, using the syringe and needle, and then use some forced air. And then I was able to use the shim again all the way back to about right here. So let me get this thing clamped in place here. Okay, you can see I've got the 2 clamps in place again with just some wood boards, wax paper for any bleed through. Again, not overly cranked, but nice and tight, and just made sure they were aligned. And then you can see this is the other bubble that I marked here. We'll take care of it later because I'm going to have to use some unique clamping to get to this area. And I don't think that's lifted in this area enough, so I'll probably, again, just try to fill this pocket in this area and maybe up in here using my syringe and glue. And then figure out how best to clamp that down. And then let's see, I've got that top piece. I've got a couple finish nails I need to pick up, and I'm going to check all the glue blocks inside, and then just double check all this other veneer. Make sure I don't have any other loose veneer. I know I do up here on the top here. So I'll get some glue underneath there and get that clamped down. And then I've got, let's see, I think I'm good there. we'll go ahead and cut out a matching piece there, and then do some cleanup here in this area as well, right here. And then I'll double check the sides, and then do a little light sanding in this area just to clean up some of the existing toner lacquer and some of the roughness around the edge. And just double, triple check everything, and we'll be ready for some grain filling prior to applying some toner lacquer. So appreciate you guys watching. Stay tuned for those future updates.